Okay. Hello, Juju. That's what I'm gonna call you now. Let's just quickly go over a quick few things that we can help you with. I'm actually going to quickly start at your roster itself. Oh, don't highlight that. And then I'm gonna actually run through a few of your questions. Okay. So there's a couple of things that I actually see wrong. Is Wolverine and Yondu, they are actually not that good. I'm not actually sure why you spend that much resources, except for that I see you have a high amount of red stars in on Yondu, so yeah, that could be good for him, but he's still, yeah, there's nothing good about him. I would actually recommend you stop right there. Actually, I think not even my Yondu is that strong. I can't actually remember. Where's my Yondu? Yondu. Oh, okay, mine is that strong. But I also made that mistake of doing that. Okay, 39.42. Um, People you want to be looking at is maybe your shield team, your defenders team, your Kree team, and a raid team, as well as your um, power armor. I do see you have all of the power armor people. Where did I see? I see you have rescue as well down there at 4K. They're currently at the moment still the best war offense team. If you're ever looking to pack a real solid punch into your enemies on war, power armor would be the best way to go. Okay, if you do looking to excel yourself in arena, I do see you also have all of the Asgardians. They are currently the third strongest team. The second being the X-Men with Phoenix, and then the Inhumans. That's with Black Bolt. So if you do have all of the Asgardians, you might look into building them up to having a lot of loot in your arena. Okay, so yeah, I actually don't have Sif, so that's why I haven't started building um, my Asgardian team because I was actually on holiday by the time a Blitz event was out, and I was in actually a place where there was no activity. So I'm actually still very furious that I can't get Sif, but she's going to get farmable very soon. Then I'm going to start working on them, as well as with my Inhumans. I'm not working on them, which is a good habit to get into. I'm not sure if you have actually started working on your Inhumans. I can actually just quickly have a look at them. Oh, do I actually see any of them? They're all actually still at the bottom, which is actually still fine. Um, I don't actually recommend you working on specific teams that you don't have the full team because the whole game is about resource management. And if there's no use in you having those players, there's no use in building them up. So actually, all of my Inhumans, my new Inhumans, let's call it that, um, they are still at the bottom. My Quake is way up top because I've been using it on my Shield team. Shield is obviously one of the best all around teams. When I say all around, so every other team has certain traits what that makes them better. You get very good raid teams, you get good war offense, war defense, good arena teams. But the shield team can do all of it, but they're not the best at all of it. But they are extremely high ranked in all of the game modes. So they can at least do all of it fairly good. Only when you start to really want to go to the top of every game mode, you will have the specific teams that goes into every specific game mode. Okay, but yeah, as Guardians, they do beat the Shield team at the moment. So if you want to go for the as Guardians, you're going to really pump up in the arena. Okay, so I just quickly want to see as well. You do have your Guardians a bit built up. Um, Let me just quickly see. You do have Starlord, which is actually super awesome. There's actually very few that you don't have. Um, where did I see this? Gotta get War Machine up. Gotta get your Shield people up. I do think you miss the value in what the synergy teams are. So I'm not sure whether or not you do know this, but I'm going to go through this anyway. Let's go through to the Blitz selector. Um, actually, have a look at the teams. So obviously the teams with the synergy will hold all of these and tell you exactly where they benefit from. Um, also with the shield teams as well, they do gain a lot of synergy, but as well as with the power armor. I actually wanted to go through these people as well. They're actually currently the best war offense team. I would highly recommend that you get them. But okay, let's just quickly go through the BKT team. Sorry, I'm rambling back and forth here because, yeah, like I said, I'm not any video creator or don't have a script, so I'm gonna run back and forth like a crazy person here. Okay. So this is what the BK team looks like. A lot of people have different reasons why they put them in different orders, but this is the one that I've seen works the most for me. I'm going to tell you actually why now. So the thing is with Thanos, what makes him good? So needless to say that the BKT team is best for the raids. The reason why is they have a lot of self-sustain, meaning that you can keep playing the one team without needing any heals or any revives, and they would just keep themselves alive. Okay, so the one good thing is Thanos' passive, where he says, on death of enemy, generate 2 ability energy for self and any adjacent cosmic ally. So Minerva and Rocket is his adjacent cosmic allies. So whenever an enemy gets killed, he gives them ability energy. As simple as that. It makes him a very good energy battery, as well as Star-Lord as well. Where's my Star-Lord? He's way up top because he's actually very strong. So he does also on turn, he has a 50% chance to generate ability energy, so that's a 50-50, but as well as his clever distraction, he also makes energy. So there's a lot of energy going through in this team. Okay, so that makes a team extremely good to just keep throwing their ultimate abilities or whatever ability they might need at that moment. You will never have any problems with them. And as well with Minerva special, passive, whenever you kill an enemy, she heals the most injured non-summoned ally for 15% of this character's max health. If the ally is free, also apply a random positive effect. Okay, so whenever, so this is actually how the team works. At the team start, a rocket will actually open up with a special and then kill someone, and Thanos feeds him energy or Minerva. Then it's Star-Lord's turn, and he will either feed Rocket's energy or to Groot. Okay, so either way, Rocket's getting fed energy. So on the next turn, obviously on the race there's multiple waves of enemies. So on the next turn, Rocket will have his ult on and he will kill the entire wave. And whoever got hit, Minerva will heal all of them because there's, let's say, 5 enemies got killed. So she'll be healing the most injured ally repeatedly until they are all full of health. And then because people were killed, Thanos is going to generate ability energy. So the very next turn, Rocket will have his ult available again. So he will actually have his ultimate up every single turn. That is what makes them so reliable in raids, because the entire team or the entire enemy wave gets damaged the whole time, and they just go down extremely quickly. So I don't actually have a raids active to show you, so I don't know if a Blitz is actually going to justify this. Um, let's see quickly how it works, because they're actually going to be killing them off before they even get to that whole part. But let's just quickly have a look and see. I'm going to actually play it on slow speed, that you can actually see what happens and why the BKT team is this good. Okay, so they are dealing damage to our Groot. So let's just quickly kill. Actually, I want to kill him first. So he's killed and Groot gets healed. And there was energy going. Okay, let me just take it a bit slower. Star-Lord's obviously going to be taking someone out, so let's just see what happens. Okay, he one-shots them. Minerva heals, and Thanos gave energy to the entire team. It's just so lame to play it actually in a blitz mode. If anybody needs heal, but nobody needs heal, so let's just do this. So Minerva can actually be blinded or whatever. It doesn't actually matter as long as the passive works and she keeps the team alive. That's all that she needs to do. I'm gonna actually speed this up to 2 times. Let me just kind of cleanse here. Okay, so rocket alt is up. Actually going to be difficult to see what's going to happen because there's no new teams coming up. Okay, it's actually just killed one person, and as you could have seen, all the energy that actually gets flown through. I'm gonna actually see if I can do non-attack kind of stuff. Don't kill him. Okay, so basically Rocket's ult is almost full. If he had have killed one more person, then his ult would have been full on the next turn. So you actually get what I am saying. So it's just going to kill that, and Minerva's going to heal the next person again. And they just keep healing, and they just keep getting energy. Um, and Thanos, yeah, he just generates energy, ability energy for everybody the whole time. Let me just quickly finish this one up. So yeah, they are extremely effective, especially in raids. In the blitz mode, it's actually difficult to drag the match out because they are so effective. Just to actually show you how the team works, but they do get the job done in raids as well. So I'm at the end of my raids. Let me just quickly see here. So there's nowhere I can go. Yeah. So yeah, I am at the end. Otherwise, you would have had a very good example of that. Okay, so let me just quickly go into why I said that you would be building the power armor. Okay, so at any given point, a power armor, okay, let's not say at any given point. Let's say if you have a 100k power armor team, they can defeat a 200k enemy team. Okay, so their punch up potential is extremely good. Um, I'm gonna quickly show it you. Let's quickly pick this 230k team. It's not actually a good example because they are of equal strength. My power armor is also about 200k. Okay, they're actually stronger. Just want to show you exactly how easily they do beat them. But nonetheless, my power armor can still take on 300k, 350k defenders team, for instance, and they would still beat them within 2 turns. Uh, that is what makes them extremely impressive. The power armor is absolutely crazy, especially in war, because they've got all these added bonuses. Um, Especially with rescue going in, giving that little bit of a barrier so they don't kill everybody. So War Machine, he actually does. Um, his damage is increased by 30% per hero ally already, and he's got 310 damage. So his damage is also increased because he's playing in War Offense. So that doesn't actually show right now. I think it's already factored into the equation. Like this one is saying on the War Offense, but it's the same with um, War Machine as well. So they've got this whole combo of global attacks. So you don't use them immediately. So normally what I would do is I would just ability block the Luke Cage so it doesn't give the offense up, after the defense up to the entire team, so I can actually just kill them. So I'm actually, like you see, I'm all just using the basic attacks for now. As soon as on my second turn, Rescue will be able to launch her ultimate that would give all power armors offense up for 2 turns. So they will all have offense up, and then they will just obliterate the map. And so offense up, offense up, offense up, and they all have global ultimates or abilities. So the entire team gets damaged with offense up. Yeah, just look at that. That's a 230k defenders team that I'm wiping out like this. Just by the way. Okay, well, okay, she had some healing in her. Oh, actually deflect. But in any case, they are actually, it's 2 turns and let's say 2.2 turns because 2 champions took their third turn. That's it. Actually how effective they are. So always do keep that in mind. They will definitely help with wars in absolutely every way. Okay, let me just quickly run through a few of your questions here. Oh, why this is dragon? Oh. Saved squads. Okay, yeah. So I can immediately see this is actually the ones that you've just sent me. You want to look to build them equally. Having a rocket that low is not going to help your Guardian team at all. And your Ash Guardians look extremely good. Keep them that way. Actually, still work on them. They're going to be extremely good. One thing that you want to do is actually, if you have to have a look at most of my abilities that I do run through, you will be able to complete this much easier now that you're running with us, but you would always look to have, we would call it 6664, is with the ability levels. Okay, so I do max certain abilities as well, but 6664 is the best way you can get any champion because it does unlock all of the specific abilities. To give you an example, exactly to why I tell you that is with the web slinger of Spider-Man. So on level 5 he still does give the defense down, but it's only a certain percent chance of doing that. Only as soon as you get it to level 6 it does the always apply defense down. So that makes his defense down a guaranteed defense down unless it gets resisted. Okay. So actually with a lot of people I can actually bring up a lot of examples. Actually also with Rescue, you've seen her use her alt on turn 2. That's because on her level 6 ability, it says that the ability now costs 5 ability energy. Usually it is 6, so it is only ready on turn 3. So it's certain things like that that makes the synergy work on the power armor team specifically, because everything, like you've just seen on the video, they do need to run in a specific order. Okay, let me just quickly run through what was the other stuff that I wanted to go through. Okay, yes, you did mention Dark Dimension. So, best Dark Dimension team. Okay, so there is a lot of optimal teams that would be preferable to have, but what you need to do is the biggest issue with Dark Dimension is having to start it, is to getting 5 players to 6 stars as well as getting 5 players to gear tier 13. So what you're actually going to be looking for is actually just getting your first 5 to tier 13 or to 6 stars and just start grinding immediately. Afterwards, you can actually still work out your teams, but the best way to go at it would be just to actually start doing it, because it takes a lot of time to actually just get your foot in the door. After that, you can actually start building up and refine your teams and what have you. Actually, I was only busy on my second run of Dark Dimension before I was able to 6-star my um, Star-Lord so he could join my uh, Guardians of the Galaxy team. So only then it actually got a lot easier with Star-Lord in it. But that was actually halfway through my second run. But I still started the run before because I still needed to get needed to start grinding through it because let's face it, these stuff they do take a lot of time. If I can actually see what was my time to run, um, I wonder if they can show me how long I did take for my completion. So it took me 18 days and 21 hours to finish Dark Dimension 1. Later on, I got really refined. It's not that the Dark Dimension 2 is in any way easier, it's a lot harder. So don't be fooled by this, but yeah, I finished this one in what was it, 6 days. So it's 1 week. It's still 1 week in a game mode is still a lot of time. Um, so you still need to think about making sure that you do get your champions right. Okay, so the one thing that I did mention is Minerva being the best for Dark Dimension is the reason for ultimate is she steals 15% health from the enemies. So this is a global ability, and the people in Dark Dimension, the enemies, they are extremely strong. Um, if I can actually just give you a hint of exactly how strong they are. So you start off with them being all at 50k, okay, 50, 30, 40. Um, so she steals 15% of that health. She does a ton of damage and she gives it to your entire team. So in normal raids, you don't fight these big people, so you don't actually see how much she heals. But my entire team can be on the last bit of health, and she could full heal the entire team out of the health that she steals from them because they are so extremely strong. So even at a 2-star, get her to get tier 13 because she's going to be essential for the Dark Dimension 2. You won't be if she's a 2-star, you won't be able to use her in Dark Dimension 1 because she's not a 6-star. But even if she's a 2-star, so that's the same as mine. Mine is not 6-star, so I could not use her in Dark Dimension 1. But I do have her at 4-star, 4 red star. I was lucky enough to still be playing the game when her event launched, so I do have a lot of stars on her because she's extremely rare getting her out of the premium orbs or any other orb or what have you. So you don't get her much. So you're actually lucky to have her. Okay. Let's just quickly run through last few of the questions. First line said nothing. Yeah, they're stupid. Okay, so I see you do not have Thanos available yet. Okay, so I do have shown you the value of Thanos. So you just need to remember that he is not farmable in any way. So whenever you do see him in the supply store, if he does come up, um, I say, where's the supply store champions? If he does come up here, you need to buy it. You need to move mountains. If you do not have enough cores, just buy him. He does have an increased drop rate on the premium orbs. If I can recall correctly, it's him and the Black Widow that has a bit of an increased drop rate. Let me just quickly have a look here. So they're all at 0.93 and Thanos. I don't know if you know about all of this though, but where is Thanos? He's here at the bottom. So him along with Minerva and Black Widow, they have increased the drop rate. Not that you actually really do get them, but they have an increased drop rate or an increased chance to get a drop on them since they are not farmable in anything else. So you might just be able, let's say mathematically, you are more inclined to pull them, but although you still just never get them. But so you do get them, you have a chance to get them, but if you do see them in the supply store, you should definitely jump on it. Okay. Um, yeah, so that is for Thanos. Definitely try to recruit him. Um, so yes, yeah, Minerva, she is the best healer, but yes, healing comes into play very much into the Dark Dimension game modes because she's fighting against high health level players. In any other normal game mode, she's just about as good as any other healer, except for the fact that her passive heals the people you kill. So that does give an added bonus. So with Shield Medic specifically, I did mention that in the game chat. Where's my Shield Medic? Um, she's actually up here by the 40s. Who am I not seeing? Oh, here she is. So I actually just need this one more ability. Just need to get it to 12. Then I've got a gear tier 13. But as well as every turn she makes, she gives out regeneration. Okay. And the way regeneration works is also the same as bleed. So it heals more. The healing stacks according to the ability level that is applying the heal. So that means that since this is a level 5 ability, the amount of healing I'm going to get from one heal positive effect is going to be much more than the same person who has a level 3 passive ability that applies it. That's the same with bleed. So I normally take Carnage for a good example because he applies a lot of bleeds. So he's ultimately he gives out 3 bleed stacks. So since I'm only at level 5, his bleed amount does, let's say, 80%. Well, okay, well, it doesn't do a percentage damage. So let's say it does 80 damage. If I were to take it to level 6, it would do maybe 100 health damage. And that's irrespective of what I do with the gear tiers or with his level. That is just how the positive and negative effects work. Okay. So the next thing that you did ask is Captain Marvel. Okay, yes, she is extremely, extremely strong. I also have a at a high level, despite the star unlock. I think I only have at 5 stars. Still took it to get to 13, almost 60k powers. The reason being is actually with her passive. So she heals herself every time she takes a turn. How crazy is that? So every time she takes a turn, she heals herself, and she just keeps on healing, and she does more damage. And actually, I've got her on my war defense. She's impossible to kill, and that's about as much as that you can say about her. A lot of people use her. Actually, even me myself, I use her um, along with Loki. They make an excellent combo. Oh, wait, this is my defense team. So if you have Loki in here, Loki would apply a defense down, and then she would shoot into that on the starting round because they take the first turns. Captain Marvel would do an ultimate into the defense down that guarantees a one-shot, one kill on absolutely any enemy. Okay, so do keep that in mind. Loki is a good thing to have. What's like the ultimate team? The ultimate team is the Inhumans team at the moment. You don't get much better than them, but that's if you have Black Bolt. So again, okay, let's say that is the strongest team. If you're playing just team against team, that would mean arena. With the raids, it's the BKT team. In Alliance War, it's the Power Armor currently, or actually the Fantastic Four. They are also currently extremely good. With Blitz teams, it's more or less actually the same as arena. So again, yeah, it really depends on what you're going at. You're watching Valley Fly, and it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Looking for stuff, something to let me know. Let me just quickly see. What else do you think you need to know? I think that is about most of it. I'm going to quickly show you just exactly how the channel works as well. First of all, okay, yes, the roster review where you posted your stuff, you can actually post them here in the roster review. That is just to keep the chat more organized. Here we just talk shit, so you can actually still post it there. Nobody's going to give a crap, but it's just more likely we will see it in there. The raid lane assignments, it's only me and Tucson who can post here. Nobody else is actually able to post here. It's just so that the posts don't get flushed out by all everyone's 100 chat messages or anything like that. So if you want to do talk about something raid related, you would be talking in the raid chat. And the war chat is just exactly that. If you actually see a team that you're playing against or want to talk about something in war, you talk about it here, a roster review. The in-game, we actually started doing this because a lot of people had Discord before and had different aliases, so they would actually just write down here what their in-game name is according to their, in reference to their Discord name, so that we can see the correlation to that. And the Q&A is just literally you can post a question and we will try and give an answer to you, or any, if we ever see any good content or anything like that, we will post it there. The rhythm is just where we post our music. It plays through the voice channel. You were currently on there a while back. And the infographs, it's just linked to Casino's channel. So whenever he posts a new infographic, it does come up. I also sometimes post infographics here. There's a lot of good reads over here. So see if you can go through them. A lot of them, especially like the short to win bliss teams, you can enlarge this just to take a good look at them. This thing, it just shows a lot of good team compositions. Be sure to go through them. I think I've gone through a lot of most of the stuff. I don't think I've missed anything. Let's just quickly have a look. It's a half an hour video, so I'm sure everything has been covered. Let me know if there's anything else, and if my video has been crappy enough because of the crappy sound and no editing done. And then, yeah, that's it. Cheers.